I'm going to teach you how you can create a project that's going to contain music, and we're going to auto sync our video to the beats of the music. This is a very fulfilling method of creating a video, and it comes together really quickly. You can use videos and or still images. It works with either one. To begin with, I'm going to add some audio to my timeline. So I'm going to select an audio track and drop it into my Audio 1 track. I find it to be a little bit easier if you go ahead and zoom in so you can see the entire audio clip. Now my audio clip is relatively short, but you can do this with any length audio clip. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to expand the audio track out. This will allow me to get more of a visual representation of the waveform. This isn't required, but I just find it to be a little bit easier to do this type of work when I can have more of a visual of what the waveform looks like. This will also help us once we add markers, just to ensure that they're going to be synced up with what we're doing. I'll start off by playing the music, and as I'm listening to the music, I'm going to be clicking the M key on my keyboard. When you click M, you're going to be adding a marker to your timeline. Markers are going to be identified by this little green icon right here. And a marker is almost like a paperclip. We're just marking a specific part of our file. So I'll start off by adding a marker at the beginning of my project. I'm going to hit spacebar and play, and as I listen to this audio file, I'm going to be clicking my M key every time I hear a beat drop. As you can see, I end up with quite a few markers. What you might want to do is you might want to make sure that your markers are at the point of the beat. So you can see that this marker, I was a little bit late. It's not really syncing up with the beat drop. So let's just zoom in so we can really see this. And if you want to move a marker, you simply just grab it and you can click, hold, and drag it to a new location. So I'm just going to ensure that all of my markers are going to be synced up with the beat drop. And if you find it hard to get the marker to the appropriate place, just move your playback head to that location, and then it'll be a little bit easier because the marker is going to want to snap to the playback head. So I'm just going to click all of the markers, and you can see where the beat drops. We have a indentation in our waveform. So I'll just go ahead and move this over and place the marker in the appropriate place. And let's just check the rest of our markers. They're all off by just a hair. Okay, now I'll just go ahead and zoom out a little bit so I can see the entire waveform, and the markers are already in place. I'll move the playback head to the beginning of my project, and what we're going to do next is we're going to go into our project pane, and I'll go into my videos. And I've already kind of selected the videos that I want to use. I just want to make sure I'm using the same number of videos that I have for markers. So I have 9 markers, so let's just make sure we have 9 video clips. And I'm just going to hit my tilde key so I can open this. So I have 8 video clips up here, so let me just grab one additional video clip so that we can have this work correctly. This one looks like it'll be good. So I'm just going to place this over here on the right so that these are all kind of in a row. Now what I'm going to do is I'll hit tilde again to minimize my project pane, and I'm going to select the first video clip. We'll just kind of scroll over to the right, and I'll hold down my shift key and select the last video clip. So now I have 9 video clips selected. Now that the video clips are selected, I'm going to go up to the menu bar and we're going to click Clip, and we'll click Automate to Sequence. In the Automate to Sequence dialog box, we're going to need to specify our ordering. So we can do selection order or sort order. I'm just going to use selection order because I already kind of organized my video clips into the order that I wanted to have them display. In regards to placement, instead of sequentially, I'm going to use at numbered markers. So we've already established our markers. That's where we're going to place the video clips. And we're going to perform an overwrite edit instead of an insert edit because we want to keep our audio file in place. And if we're using still clips, we can specify how many frames we want. This is not going to pertain to us since we're using video clips. And the final thing that I want to do is, in this instance, I'm going to ignore the audio. All of my clips have some sort of background audio. We don't really want that, so I'm just going to ignore audio. I'll click OK, and the clips get dropped in. And you can see my last clip is quite a bit longer than my entire sequence. So we'll go ahead and we'll just trim this by going to the end of the clip and just dragging to the left. And we'll just go ahead and make sure that that lines up with the end of the audio, like so. And before we play this, because my video clips are not all the same size, I'm going to select all of them and I'll right click, and we're just going to scale to frame size. And this will ensure that the entire video clip is going to fit within my frame. Remember, you might not have this problem. It's just because my video clips happen to be varying sizes and I set up the sequence at a more standard size. So some of my really large video clips need to be scaled down. Now that I have these in place, I'll hit spacebar to play. And as you can see, this is a really easy way to set up a sequence. You're syncing all of your cuts with the audio, which makes it look very polished. And this is extremely rewarding to do because it really doesn't take very much time at all. This also works very well with still images, and you basically would do the exact same thing, but instead of using video clips, you would simply use still images. I think you'll find that this technique is something that you'll be able to use fairly often in a lot of projects. Maybe you're just going to do a portion of the project, but when you have clips that you want to sync with any sort of audio or music file, this can be a great way to ensure that the clips are cutting in time with the music.